A Dose of Health is here to bring you information, inspiration, and actionable insights in 15 minutes or less from New Jerseyans in the health and wellness space who are experts in their fields. I'm Kate Cherichello Tente, certified fitness professional and host of Healthy in the Garden State. This A Dose of Health miniseries is a part of our mission to bring you as many health resources as we can. To find these episodes and everything from the Healthy in the Garden State brand, check out healthyinthegardenstate.com. When I began to schedule guests for this set of A Dose of Health interviews, I knew I had to reach out to Mark Simmons. He is such a force of passion and just joy for life, and we're going to be talking all things cycling, both indoor and outdoor, and backed by a cause, why it's great exercise, the community, and his path to becoming not just a cyclist, but an indoor cycling instructor, all after retirement. Mark is from Madison, an Air Force vet, followed by 32 years working for UPS, and only then did cycling come into his life. He's been married to his husband for a decade, has an adorable dog, and his family includes 3 grandchildren and a grandchild, and I'll let him share the rest. Mark, you are a man of many talents and a wide background of experiences. So how did cycling catch your eye, and how did it become such a big part of your life?
Well, actually, thank you for asking. I started cycling about 10 years ago with a friend who was in one of my spin classes. And when I did start riding, I was living in Hoboken with my husband at the time, and we got like regular bikes. And the more I rode, the more I realized that this is something I wanted to do, but spin caught my eye. So this is right before COVID. Spin was really hot in all the gyms. And I found my group, and it was like they had like 3 different settings. They had like amp, like little dance on the bike, and then they had like edge, it's a little more cardio, and then they had powers. And a lot of the power cyclists in the class were outdoor riders. And one of my friends like, hey man, you should really try to go out there and do some riding. So I said, okay, I'll give it a try. And then a month later, he said, hey, I'm involved with this thing called Cycle for the Cause. I've been doing it for a few years, and it's like it helps a lot of people, and I think you'd be interested. I was like, oh, I want to help people. He said, it's going to be 285 miles. Like, I don't want to help people that much. So I ended up working out with this guy. He lived in Florent Park, so we ride down to the Great Swamp every morning, every other morning. And I did it was about 25 miles, but we did that for like 3 or 4 months. And then the actual ride happened. So we took off from, I'm trying to think, where did we leave? Eagle Rock, and we left on buses, about 3 or 4 buses, excuse the face, and we decided to stay at a hotel that was provided for us by the Cycle for the Cause. And we stayed there for the first night, and I was very excited. And they did a lot of promos about what this was going to help and who it was going to help. And I instantly fell in love with it because it was helping so many people, not only just the gay community, but people that had been, hit with the the AIDS situation. So it worked out great. The first day was 80 miles. And when I got off the bike, I was like, I don't feel too bad. And then the next day was 120. That was a little rough. And then the last day was an easy, like 65 miles an hour, 65 miles. And we
Easy,
came into
easy
Manhattan.
65.
Easy 65. And we came into Manhattan, and there was a gigantic celebration. They hit numbers that they had never hit before. And it's just something I wasn't able to let go. And I went a couple of years, and then I finally let my heart go. And I talked about my situation, losing my first partner when I came out of the closet. And it was difficult, but boy, I felt light as a feather afterwards, and the whole experience has kept me going. So I've done this ride about 7 times. I didn't do it during COVID because it was all virtual, and I wasn't really feeling it. But now I'm back in the saddle again, and I'm raising some good money, and I really want to thank Morris County. Uh, this area has really been very generous to me in helping out with my cause and the cause. And I just want to say thank you if I can get that in there.
course, of course. And the link for Cycle for the Cause will be in these notes as well.
You've been in a relationship and you want to do things apart, but you want to do things together. And he got into the gym and he was pumping weights and I was doing my bike. And I was like, hey, how about if I work out with you and you come back? He's like, Mark, we've already done this. Like, come on, let's do it. He didn't even make it a block. And he went down and he just looked at me like, no more. It's not for some people,
And I think
and
that's a really good point too, right? That there's so many different aspects of fitness, and some are for some
yes,
people and some aren't, and some you discover later on. I mean, my husband just keeps thinking I'm going to wake up and start to run marathons with him. And I'm like, no, 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 I do everything else but that. Thank you. But
right.
absolutely. And I would love to talk about too how you did this 285 mile race.
285 miles.
And it was only how long after you actually started cycling? Was within what was the
So
time frame there?
that's what I like. This is what's great about spin. I was in spin cycle for a couple of years before I actually, this guy tapped me on the shoulder and said, hey, this is something you might want to do. He actually said this, and I don't know if you're going to put it in the video. He's like, hey, I do this ride for your people. I'm like, my people? What do you mean, my people? I was like, he's like, oh, the gay community. He's like, oh, okay. Well, next time, maybe just start with that. And we just started. He was very devoted. He was a safety manager at Google. So when I did start riding outside, he was very insistent on just being safe, 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 safe. So I had ridden for years and years by myself. And when I started riding with him, he had a little group, and then I started riding with them. Then I learned how to, Peloton with people, which you can go so much further when you're drafting off of someone else. And I just fell in love with it. So later on in my years, as far as being a cyclist, uh, it's one of those things that when you get older, you can get better at. And I've been getting better at it, and I'm 63 right now, and I've been doing this for a few years. And my numbers, I did this ride called the Revolutionary Ramble a few days ago. I hit numbers that were better than any of the years I've done prior, and that comes with smart training. Eating, getting the proper rest, doing what you need to do, and not overdoing it. And that's what most of us do. We get in and we just like slam it. We overdo what we should be doing, and then we can't actually do the race. And I learned that a couple of years ago.
Yes, yes. And I
Yeah.
want to get back to safety. But first, you had mentioned there is this beautiful documentary that you are a part of, Out Cycling. And
Mhm.
you mentioned in it about riding with people in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond, and how this is one of the things where you can keep getting better no matter what age. And I thought that was a huge detail not detail, huge point that
Right.
is really neat. And I think something that probably people aren't necessarily thinking about and realizing that cycling is something at any age that you can keep getting stronger with.
You are absolutely right. And that's why I'm doing it. I have a feeling I might make it into my 80s or 90s, and I just don't want to be all kind of like stiff. And several of the riders I ride with are 75, 76, 77, and I'm watching their progression because I've been riding with them for a few years now. Some of the riders are younger, and I let them push me out of my comfort zone. The older riders are still so powerful, but they think they're slowing down, but they're not slowing down. They're right where I want to be if I ever get the opportunity to be there. I'm gonna and tell people, if you're afraid of going out and riding, find a group. A
Yeah,
group will keep you safe, and most of my riding now is just with the groups. And
great.
I ride with three different groups. I ride with Lifetime, which I lead the ride out every Saturday. I'm sorry, every Sunday. And I ride with a organization called All On Cycle. And that's more of a kind of, you join the group. It's like a year membership, but you have a lot of dedicated people that know the roads, and they set up their own like um, routes. You sign up and then you go out with them. It's no pressure. They have all different levels from A to D, and A being the fastest and D being the slowest. So you can always find a niche. Also on Facebook, there's a bunch of groups that are just like just freewheeling it. So I'm also involved with a group called the Misfits. It's a Facebook group, and now we're just accepting more and more people. After COVID, it started to grow. It was only like three or four of us. Now we're up to like 25, 30 people, and it's just something that everybody likes to do, especially in this area. This area of New Jersey is beautiful. Another
It
reason
is.
why I'm doing it, like I enjoy riding, is because this area is just spectacular. I've lived here all my life, and until I got on a bike, I didn't realize how beautiful this state is. Maybe we don't want to tell too many people, but it's a
I mean, this is
beautiful
a New
place to live.
Jersey focused series, so we can definitely beef
Yes,
up the New Jersey love here.
I'm
I
definitely
I, I
want to
heard
beef
you
up New
say
Jersey.
about, yeah, and I know you mentioned that there were parts of New Jersey that weren't even far away that you had never seen until you got out on a bike to go see them. And that's how I feel about when I go for a walk or a short distance run, is you're seeing things like even houses exactly that you miss when you're in a car. There's so much to be seen and so many
Absolutely.
off the beaten path moments. Can you talk about safety though when you're on the rides? I know you mentioned being in a group is, of course, a huge step in the right direction for safety, but what are some other things that people can think about when out for a bike ride?
Well, this is what I really like. When you have all these groups, the first thing they're focused on is safety. So when I lead a group, I have a nice little 10 to 15 minute, 10, yeah, about 10 to 15 minute. This is what we need to do, especially if we
Yes.
get a bunch of new riders. People who don't want to be all over the road. There's our New Jersey people that have that go, go, go mentality. So we don't want to get in their way. And so to teach riders to stay far to the right, to call out like obstacles if people are riding with you, just keeping your eyes moving, not fixating on anything, and just paying attention are very important things. People kind of get lost in the ride. They're like, "Oh, how beautiful!" It's like, keep your eyes on the road. But it's very important to be safe. I've only taken one spill in the 15 years I've been
Oh,
riding, and I had people around me that protected me. And luckily, it was I was going around a turn, and the tire went flat, so it was like hitting oil. I was already, in the turn, and I had seven people surround me and make sure I was okay. And luckily, nothing really major happened. I bent the handlebars, and that was it. Didn't break any bones or hurt myself. So that's not always the case, but there's always going to be a little danger in anything you do. Once you get off the couch and you leave your house, there's always going to be something. So I tell people to leave the fear behind and go out there and do the riding. It's very therapeutic, and a lot of camaraderie going on. You're hanging out with people that have the same goal as you, and it's a great break.
oh, amazing. Let's switch gears. I know we only have a couple minutes left, but I want to hear more about the indoor cycling now. What was it like to decide to become an instructor in terms of, you're used to riding a bike on your own, but now all of a sudden you need to be the person in front telling everybody else what to do?
Yeah. I'm gonna admit I became a spin instructor a lot to overcome a fear. And after COVID, I mean before COVID, I had gotten my certification. And then COVID hit, and I just thought that was a big message from above, like, you're not supposed to be a spin instructor. So after 3 years went by, and I was just kind of like doing things around the house, like I had been retired for 3 years, and that was difficult going into retirement, being go, 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 then all of a sudden stop. So when I did start riding, I wanted to be part of that spin community. And so I went in, got certified, and then COVID hit, and I had time to think about how fearful it would be, and I just didn't do it. And my husband just tapped me on the shoulder. He said, "Please tell me you didn't waste all that education and time, and you're not going to do this." And so he was my cheerleader, and one of the ladies that I originally started cycling with, indoor cycling, she worked at a club called the Chatham Club, located here close to Madison, and she got me a job. And the manager said, "I'm not going to be able to watch you. Just go ahead and have a good time, and enjoy yourself." Because she saw that I was a little fearful, and so I went in there. I got on the bike, and I noticed in the audience my manager was there, and I was like, "What are you doing here?" She said, "Don't worry, I'm not staying. I don't feel well. I just wanted to get a couple of minutes to see what you were like, and then I'm leaving." And I was like, "Okay, great." 45 minutes went by. She did not leave. And the rest of the class left. I got a little applause, which was nice. And I'm still nervous. She walks up to me and she said, "You're a damn good spin instructor." I'm like, my head went, and then I got a job at the Y. Then I got a job at the Lifetime. And I just can't let it go now. It's an addiction.
And
I love teaching people.
And it makes sense. Like I know being in the shoes as an instructor as well over the years, there's something so infectious about that energy, that support. Everybody wants to lift each other up in that situation. And I can only imagine how much
Everybody wants
fun
you
your
to
classes
succeed.
are.
Yeah.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you. I mean,
So Lifetime
I
Y Chatham Club, right?
And right. So you can see me there at any of those clubs. Basically, for now, Lifetime is sub kind of on basis. I don't have my own block of time, but I do have the block of time for the outdoor riding. And as I said, that's every Sunday, 9 o'clock, and we're doing social rides. So you don't have to be the fastest, can't be the slowest, but you don't have to be the fastest to enjoy this club. It's about a 25-mile ride out to Great Swamp, and then we come back to Florham Park, a little break there, and it's a great way to end the weekend.
Awesome. Fantastic, Mark. I do not want this conversation to end, but I know we have
I
to
don't
stick to
either.
this. Is supposed to be a mini-sode. A good thing is that secret's out. Mark lives up the street from me, so I do get to see him here and there.
Yeah.
But Mark, this was such a joy. Thank you. The link to Cycle for the Cause is in the notes, and I hope that anyone watching gets up here in the Madison area to find one of his indoor or outdoor cycling experiences.
Yes. And don't forget the 5K. The 5K. That represents the amount of money I've been able to usually get at the end of the year for Cycle for the Cause. So if you do see the link, please donate if you have the opportunity. We all appreciate it.
Excellent, Mark. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in. Be sure you click that subscribe button. And if you know someone who would enjoy this episode, please do share it with them. If you want to connect, partner, or have suggestions for future topics, reach out anytime at healthyinthegardenstate.com. Until next time, I'm Kate Cherichello Tente, and this is A Dose of Health from Healthy in the Garden State.